Hey, welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Doyle would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. I do have a job, but any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. And more important, let us help you help us by introducing you to a program. There's a link down below that says Equal Justice for All. You're going to click that video link and there's some educational tutorial about a phenomenal program in America that is really making equal justice a reality for every citizen. So this program is phenomenal. The proceeds from you participating in the program will go back, 10% will go back into the Bob TV YouTube channel. So anyway, my name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Let's get into it.
Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? Hey, I'm going to pull out from the attic an old show that I did a long time ago called Freedom on Fire. Freedom on Fire is going to be an interview show. That's where I'm going to be doing my interviews from people of all walks of life, regular people, people who going through struggle, people who are winning in life, you name it. So that's what that's going to be for. Hopefully showcasing politicians, showcasing people that have different initiatives that's going to help the world become more better. So I'm going to start that show. I need to learn how to become an interviewer and get out of my box, stop worrying about me messing up words and just become an interviewer and get to know people and get into their mindsets and share their mindset with you and help you become better as a person. Also, I'm going to be doing a Justice for All show, a Freedom and Justice for All show, where I'm going to be showcasing different acts of justice and injustice and talk about that program that I was telling you about, how it can help you achieve equal justice for all. So that's coming up. But right now I want to talk about Roland Martin. I know you say, Robert, God, Jesus, man, you about to go on Roland Martin again. You know, I had a lot of respect for Roland Martin. He's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. Tim Black is the one that really got me going in this. He didn't tell me to do it, but he inspired me to do it. He just leave. He claims he still worked there, but after they got rid of his show, he knew the only way to go next is YouTube and try to build his own black broadcasting network. And he looked at his show as the elite black broadcast network, and he looked down on little people like me, like we don't know what we're doing. And maybe we not knowing what we are doing is a good thing, because I don't want to be indoctrinated with mainstream media philosophy. I want to be indoctrinated with getting stuff over to the people. So he goes on TV today, and this is what happens.
About Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders announced his run for president. In the first 24 hours, he raised $5.9 million from over 223,000 individuals. Now, he beat the previous 24-hour winner, California Senator Kamala Harris. She had $1.5 million in her first 24 hours. Now, there's another number that might be a problem for Senators Harris, Booker, as well as other candidates. This is from an Economist YouGov poll from earlier this month. Net favorability is the difference between a candidate's favorable ratings and a candidate's unfavorable rating. You can see that Sanders has a higher net favorability than Harris or Booker.
Now, I was advised that if I'm going to comment on this stuff, people get mad at me because I won't let it play. So please check the link below. There's a link to this entire video. You can watch it first, and then I'll come back and give my commentary, okay? But as of right now, you can go ahead and do it right now. Just pause me and do it now. Okay, we're back. So as you can see right here, candidate net favorability with black voters. Now, the myth of the Bernie bro is back. And these knuckleheads are trying to push that Bernie bro myth as if it's one rich white guy supporting Bernie Sanders or some college white guy supporting Bernie Sanders and smashing anybody else who is not supporting Bernie Sanders. Most of the Bernie Sanders supporters I know, sometimes they can get kind of harsh because they're defending their position. But most of them I know are peace-loving, fun-loving, pretty cool people, the supporters. I was a supporter. But this dispels the Bernie bro myth because right now he's getting 31% of the net favorability rate with black voters. Kamala Harris is only at 24%. Now, this is the calculated from the Economist YouGov poll, whatever that is. That was taken February 10th to 12th. I think this is before Bernie Sanders even announced, because he just announced a few days ago. So you know his favorability rate has jumped up. They got Tulsi Gabbard at -5. Why would they have Tulsi Gabbard at -5? Again, here it is, mainstream media trying to crap on people who are for war. I mean, who's against anti-intervention, against interventioning war. They got her at -5%, knowing doggone well, in reality, Tulsi Gabbard is probably like second to third to Bernie Sanders in the Democratic Party. But they want to shame her. They want to discount her. They want to blacklist her because of what she did last time and what she's doing now. Pete Buttigieg at 2% and Tulsi Gabbard at -5%. Get out of here. Julian Castro, nobody know who that is. Get out of here. And all right, let me keep going.
1% to 24 to 23%. That's not a big gap between Sanders and the others, but if Sanders keeps making statements like this, it might be a problem.
We have got to look at candidates, not by the color of their skin, not by their sexual orientation or their gender, and not by their age. I mean, I think we have got to try to move us toward a non-discriminatory society which looks at people based on their abilities, based on what they stand for.
See, first of all, when I talked about
Now, what was wrong with what he just said? Let me go back and read that. Bernie Sanders said we have to look at candidates, not by the color of their skin. And he's right, Roland, because we had somebody that was in office by the color of their skin, did nothing for black people, not by their sexual orientation. You automatically think having a woman in office is going to automatically be better. We thought that was the same way with black men. A black man being in office, we thought it was going to automatically, we felt good. It was a proud day, man. Brothers have their chest stuck way out. And then the second term, the chest was sunk right back in because they sucked up to Wall Street. And not saying that a person of color can't be a great leader. We got a lot of great leaders that are people of color. We can't say they can't be a great president. We can't say a woman. We're not saying a woman can't be a great president. We're not saying a black woman can't be or Indian woman. It doesn't matter. He's right. Again, he's saying we got to look at candidates, not by the color of their skin, not by their sexual orientation or their gender, and not by their age. I mean, I think we have got to try to move us toward a non-discriminatory society, which looks at people based on their abilities, based on what they stand for. Now, that sounds similar to what Bernie Sanders just said. if we want our children and we want our neighbors and we want each other to respect each other, not by the content of the color of our skin, but by the content of our character, why should that not be in play when we're voting for politicians, when we're voting for political leaders to lead our country? Should we put them in just because they're black? Because they could be black and anti-black. Because we got a lot of black people that crap on black people.
Discriminatory society which looks at people based on their abilities, based on what they stand for.
See, first of all, when I talked about, I discussed this on social media, and folks are saying that the question that was asked of him, and so guys, if you could actually pull that, which is important, that the question dealt with his age. Well, we should have had the question because that gives you the nuance. So the question apparently was asking him about his age, and this was his response. But the reality, though, Monique, is that Senator Sanders has been making these various comments about identity politics. Now, what's interesting with his statement.
How was that a question about identity politics? He's trying to get people to stop focusing on the identity and focus on the content of character. Or if you want to say, focus on the issues. Or you can say, focus on the policies. He's trying to pull people out of identity politics, and you're trying to pull them in. Roland, you are using identity politics as a weapon of separation when it comes to people voting. You're trying to use them to focus on black characters that you want to promote in the Democratic Party. Yet you say, I want you focus on the issues. I want you focus on the policies. And half of the two black people that are in there right now, or the one black person, because the other one is 90% Indian and 10% Scotch, Jamaican. You're going to try to tell them just because he said, look, hey, I know I'm older, but that's the whole point. I'm not in this for my age. I'm not in this for a color. I'm not screaming, look at me, the white guy, as you're trying to say he's trying to say, Roland. Let me keep going.
Statement when he says, well, we've got to do this. First of all, there have been 45 presidents and one black, no females. The reality is what he said is what folks have been doing. That you have seen, folks have been voting for folks based upon policies, based upon issues, and not based upon gender, not based upon race.
Oh, no, Martin. No, Roland Martin. You ain't going to get away with that because a lot of us black people went out and voted for Barack Obama, not because of his policies. We went out there and voted for that's a black man, and we assumed that he was going to have our back. And we found out the hard way that that was not true. Second, you got Madam Albright, who said there's a special place in hell for people who don't support women, especially women who don't support women. Trying to shame anybody else, especially women, if they didn't support Hillary Clinton. Including people like Nina Turner, including people like Tulsi Gabbard, including people like who decided to go ahead and vote for Jill Stein and people in the Green Party. Madam Albright said that, using identity politics.
We can tell our story about how we climbed the ladder, and a lot of you younger women don't think you have to, it's been done. It's not done, and you have to help. Hillary Clinton will always be there for you. And just remember, there's a special place in hell for women who don't help each other.
Using identity politics. Matter of fact, you pushed so hard to push this white woman into office, and her policies was crap. Like Obama said, she'll say anything and do nothing, which is the same of Kamala Harris.
And what you're dealing with here, I believe, is a candidate who still is bothered by the fact that he didn't get the nomination in 2016.
People, be patient with me. Like I said, go ahead and watch that video if you haven't watched it by now in full, and then come back to this, because I got to stop. The reason Sanders didn't win, Roland Martin, with your big old eyes right there, bruh, is because you and other operatives in the DNC Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Neera Tanden. Yeah, I'm hollering at you, Neera Tanden. Robbie Mook, John Podesta, Donna Brazile. Because you and Donna Brazile did this when you came to New York over there at the Intrepid. That debate there, feeding her debate questions. And you got the nerves to make a comment about something that Bernie Sanders said about how we vote. Pretty much the same thing that Martin Luther King said about how he wanted to see society. Man, get out of here.
That there were a lot of people who supported Hillary Clinton who did.
Including you. You supported her to the point that you cheated for her. Yeah, I said it, you cheated.
Want to see a female president. And here's the reality, Senator Bernie Sanders. It's been a lot of white men who have been presidents, senators, House members, Supreme Court justices. And so all of a sudden, when you get a splash of diversity, it's like, oh my God.
It ain't got nothing to do with that. Oh my God, Roland Martin. We don't mind. He don't mind. Nobody don't mind having people of color if they're going to run on policies that's going to help people. Because that's what it boiled down to, and that's what Bernie Sanders is saying. Don't even look at my old age. If I got something to bring to the table, that's what you look at. That's what he's trying to say, Roland Martin.
What are we going to do? Really?
See, you making this sound like something that ain't. No, that's what you're saying. Because you're afraid of Bernie Sanders and the power that Bernie Sanders have and his policies, which most of the people that you're pushing have adopted, fake adopted, co-opted, don't really believe in it, never pushed it, never had it in their bloodstream. Here's this man that had been having it in his bloodstream. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not, this man been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years. Almost about the time since you've been in college. Or since you was a kid, he been pushing for these things. And here we get these fake progressives running for office, and we know that they're not serious. We know they started jumping on the bandwagon because they know that's the only way to win. We know it's not in their bloodstream, Martin. And that's why a lot of people are jumping on Bernie Sanders' side, because they know it's in his bloodstream. What he did last year, and my book was appalling, siding with Hillary Clinton and doing whatever he can to sheepdog people. But that's besides the point. The man been out there fighting, campaigning, and pushing for policies that help bring up people in poor communities, help bring up the middle class. He's been doing that for a while. So he's trying to put the focus on that. Look at the real deal. Don't look at color. Don't look at my age. Don't look at none of that. Look for the person who really is going to go out there and fight for you. And I always said, if you look at what they've done in the past, what they're doing now, and what they're doing in the future. And I looked at all of them, and what they did in the past ain't crap. Roland.
Right. Is not going to fare well with Black women.
Hold up. Monique Presley. He's already faring well with the Black community in general. He may not fare well with you because you probably was a Hillary Clinton surrogate and suck up. But he's faring well. He have a Black woman that is on his campaign staff, co-chair of his campaign, who I am going to be pushing for. If he going to ever get my vote, he got to make her his VP. As long as he got her and other people like her on his side, which he do, he's going to do well with Black women. And you got to understand, Black women ain't the only thing that you need to win. You can't win an election on Black women all alone. You ask the knucklehead in Alabama and ask the fool in Virginia. Black women went out. They barely won. You don't need a barely won dealing with Trump. You need a blowout. So while you talking about just Black women vote, you need to be talking about every element of society vote. Bernie Sanders is trying to address every element of society to vote. Like my candidate of last year, Jill Stein, she did whatever she could to whatever she could to address every area of society, mainly black society. One of the first persons that I know that campaigned on reparations, a white woman that happens not to be in that corrupt party called the Democratic Party.
He is not going to fare well with people who are moderate, because he's far left of anything that would make sense for them. And
Monique Presley, the moderate people are fading out. The policies of Bernie Sanders have become mainstream now. I would like to say the party of real progressives like Jill Stein and all this. To me, I think a lot about Bernie Sanders' policies. The Green Party been running on it for a while, but I'm here to talk about Bernie Sanders. So he's already faring well.
And frankly, he never speaks to the hate of the Bernie bros that are real impetus and push for his fundraising and for his support system. They are notorious for being disrespectful and hating black women.
All right, Miss Presley, whatever your name is, can you show me the next time you're on Roland Martin tweets that people sent you of hate that's a Bernie bro? Can you show me a tweet right now? I guarantee you Bernie Sanders in this campaign is coming up with a video, probably soon, to prove to you that this myth of the Bernie bro is so weak, so solid. I was a Bernie Sanders supporter back in 2016, and I'm a black man. I knew plenty of black women that supported Bernie Sanders. I knew white women that supported Bernie Sanders. That's how I found out about Bernie Sanders, was a white man and a white woman gave me a book on Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders got people like Killer Mike and other people out there in the streets that were supporting him. So how you going to come up with this lie? This Bernie bro myth is a lie. A narrative came up with the Democratic Party to shame Bernie Sanders, to make him seem like a sexist, and he's not a sexist. As a matter of fact, he's more has more women's rights credit than just about any woman out here in America today. He's done more than a lot of women in politics today. And I know that's shameful and I know that's shocking, but he's been out there fighting for women's rights for decades, fighting for LGBTQT rights for decades, fighting to make sure elderly get their prescription. I could go on and on with the list. These are things I cannot take away from this man, even though I might have a little disagreement with him. And I'm not going to let you crap on the dude, because you guys are nothing but DNC former Clinton operatives that probably jumped on the Kamala bandwagon. You talking about Bernie bros when this woman tried to lock up, had a fear of locking up parents if their child didn't go to school. And these parents working hard trying to make ends meet to take care of their family.
They're notorious for being thugs and internet thugs, and there's a
notorious for being Twitter thugs and internet thugs. Hold up. Your camp hired David Brock, an organization called Correct the Record, that went around and really did more bashing, more harassing, more prosecuting on the internet than anybody. It was a legit paid troll farm. So you can go ahead with that talking point, because you don't have nothing to prove that. But it was already in the WikiLeaks, and it's already in record that your team had David Brock on your side, going around trying to what we can call Clinton chicks. So you want to say Bernie bros? You had the Clinton chicks out there trying to shame everybody. Correct the Record trying to shame everybody because they not supporting Hillary Clinton. And you spend on every Hispanic, every black, every Jew, every, you name it. You spend Arab, you spend on every person that supported this man. This man got more diverse than you even can imagine. You're just making stuff up.
That has very little to do with him, but more so has to do with everything else they don't like. And anytime he's asked a question and he could have an opportunity to deal directly with race, with racism, with racial issues, he does one of those love sees no color things. And frankly, it's just not going to work. I mean, even a novice at this point can understand that that is not an acceptable.
But no, baby, no, young lady, no, you're not gonna get away with that. You're not gonna get away with that. What did she just say? All right, you saying Bernie Sanders don't deal directly with racism when that man was chained up in the past, was chained up fighting for racism, fighting against discrimination in school housing, fighting for all kind of rights up to now. He went out there to the plant, majority of black people fighting for their jobs. He's been fighting against racism more. He done fought more in racism in one finger than you have done in your whole body as a black woman. Guarantee you. Stack your fight for equality and your fight for equal rights up to his, and I bet you his will outshine yours in a heartbeat.
Racism, with racial issues, he does one of those love sees no color things. And frankly, it's just not going to work. I mean, even a novice at this point can understand that that is not an acceptable answer.
Hold up. Kamala Harris do that love sees no color. Cory Booker do that love sees no color. Klobuchar, a Cloud, Boot Char, whatever you want to call it. They do the same thing. So why are you talking about this one person? They all do it. The only person I've seen out there unapologetic, bring up blackness and hard blackness, other than YouTubers like Yvette Carnell and Tone Speaks and all that, is Nina Turner. But you don't talk about her, and she's on his team.
This is very simple. This is how you answer the question. Doesn't matter what my age is. Doesn't matter how I look. I'm going to compete for every vote in the country.
That's what he said, man. He just want him to say it the way you want him to say it, because there you go, trying to be somebody's daddy again. The whole point, that was the whole point of his statement, Roland Martin. He ain't got to say it your way.
In the conversation.
But he was sending a broader message there, because what Monique said is true. They got a lot of other challenges and a lot of other, limousine liberal type issues, as my mother used to say. But in regard to the race, Bernie Sanders is not going to be the only one in this progressive left space.
Nope.
There are going to be a lot of other people. And every political race, every election is different, whether it's local or federal. So you can't look back on 4 years ago or 2 years ago and think, okay, he's going to do better because Hillary Clinton's not there. The reality is he raised a lot of money within a few hours or a few days. Kamala did the same thing because they either had the name recognition.
Kamala didn't raise nowhere near that man. And if you look at Kamala's ratio raising money, I guarantee you that majority of the people who donated to her campaign was big money interest, and I guarantee you it was more than $27 per person. I guarantee you the average donation to Kamala Harris did not come from regular people. I guarantee you the same thing with Cory Booker, and I guarantee you it's not $27. So stop that, bro.
Highest concentration of followers. It doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you end. And when these debates start, because 30+% of the Democratic Party are black women and or black men, that's going to be split too. Someone out of those 15 to 20 candidates have got to figure out how to build a coalition of all of those interests, moderate and left, black, white, yellow, and brown, and that's the person that's going to win. And you might only need 25 to 30%.
That's all you're going to need.
And that is exactly how Bernie runs his campaign. He can get every last one of them. Every last one of them. And don't mess around and go into an open primary. None of them. None of them. Kamala Harris, none of them is going to outdo him in a closed primary states. That's, open primary state. None of them. He's going to blow him out the wall because he because the independents going to come out for him, some Republicans going to come out for him, and some Democrats going to come out for him from every spectrum. And don't even count him out when they come to the South, because now he got name recognition and people understand he's been fighting for them even after the 2016 election. He's been actively on camera fighting for them, fighting to keep jobs, going to the different plants, fighting on strike with the workers and things like that, passing different legislation, pushing policies where kids can go to college for free, passing legislation to bring in health care when the other ones ain't been doing that. The other ones ain't been doing that, bro. Black people see that. Yeah, we got this ADOS thing going on, and a lot of black people are not going to give them no support in the general mainly, because that's where it's going to count, the general. But even in the primaries. Let me keep going.
Of the piece to win.
Robert, this is very simple. Bottom line is this here, okay? So again, when you listen to Sanders, and this is not just in this interview he did with Esquire several months ago, things that he said for the last 3 years. And I have personally criticized him saying, dude, when you keep talking about, because he's always identity politics. Well, the reality is, the phrase identity politics stems from the 1960s.
Go ahead with that old school stuff, man. Terminologies change. Man, go ahead. And that is not always true. Okay? Right now, identity politics mean when you're trying to put before people a certain reason why they need to vote for you, that's physical.
African Americans were fighting for rights that we should not have had to fight for, that should have been granted simply being born. The problem is that's a poll-tested phrase. Anytime there are people who have been oppressed, who have been fighting for what they should be granted. African Americans, women, Latinos, and so what you have here really, and this is what Sanders has to understand, it's not what he might be implying. It's simply what we are receiving or inferring, and that is, hey, I'm a white guy, give me a shot.
Right. That's what you perceiving. That's what you want to put in front of everybody's eyes, trying to make it sound like he's saying that. I don't get that. Most people don't get that, Roland. Maybe some of us older heads do, but I'm an older head too. I don't see that. So where you getting this stuff from, bruh? I'm not seeing Bernie Sanders saying, hey, I'm a white guy, choose me. I'm hearing Bernie Sanders say, hey, don't choose me because I'm white. Don't choose me because I'm old. Don't choose me if I'm a woman. Don't choose me. You know what I'm saying? All those things are great. Celebrate all that. But no, you choose me because of what I am planning on doing for you in this country.
Dude, it comes down to the issues. Look, it's some black folks who may not give black folks a shot. It comes down to issues.
But what I think what Bernie is trying to say, and I actually...
All right, hold up, Robert. Let me, another Robert, talk for a second. That's what he always come down to. He always bring it down to the issues, Roland. So what are you talking about? He's trying to keep everything on the policies and the issues while y'all over there talking about, see, what you kind of do is trying to do a Jedi mind trick. Make us think that you're for the issues when you're really for identity politics. Try to make it seem like that Bernie Sanders is pushing that identity politics when you're really pushing identity politics. Go ahead, brother. Jedi mind tricks is not going to work here. I'm not Yoda.
At least respect him on this level. I think he is trying to, in the era of people like Kristen Gillibrand going to black churches and Kamala talking about how she smoked weed, the obvious pandering to the minority community, that doesn't have as much substance or material value in his mind to the policies that he wants to implement.
Hold on, are you saying Senator Gillibrand shouldn't go to a black church?
No, I'm saying it's a little bit of...
He didn't say that.
And it's obviously, it's not necessarily reaching out at
hold on, was it pandering? Was it pandering when Trump went to the black church in Detroit?
Well, here's what Trump did, though. Trump actually increased and decreased black...
No, answer my question.
Trump actually...
No, stop, Robert. Answer my question.
Okay.
If you say...
That's what I don't like about Roe.
There's a difference between
Robert, 1 second. Robert, 1 second.
I'm answering your
Robert,
question.
If you don't, no, you didn't.
You ain't letting him.
Pandering.
Cool.
for Senator Gillibrand to go to a black church.
Yeah, because she's
wasn't it pandering for Trump to go to a black church?
Trump went to a black church when? After he already made the black unemployment the lowest it's
No,
no, he didn't.
No, Robert, I need you
after
to.
He passed
Robert,
Robert,
he went to the church, the black church in Detroit during the campaign.
When he went to the church, it was during the campaign in Detroit.
It wasn't. It was the president.
And what did he do?
He was pandering.
And what did he do? He provided.
He was pandering.
Pandering for black votes.
Let me speak for one moment. Okay. What did he do? He provided a material impact.
I'm not a Trump fan. Y'all know this. But when Trump went to that black church, Reverend Jackson's church, Trump already had a black pastor's committee. A couple of those black pastors worked with Trump before he even announced that he was running to help with some black initiatives in urban cities. Yeah, Trump had worked some black initiative in urban cities. Some of them he worked with some black initiative with some people like Puff Daddy, things like that. Because, you know, he got to spend money so he can get some of these tax breaks. So he put money into the community. Trump was instrumental in redoing the skating rink, not just in the upper Central Park, but in Harlem. And he did that so black kids or kids of color can have places to skate, have fun. That whole area of that park, Trump did. All right, so Reverend Jackson had Trump come to the church. Trump did not act like he was black. Trump did not sing always tired or something like that, like Hillary Clinton when she went to that church in South Carolina. Trump did not change his tone to try to sound like he was black or try to sound like he was Southern. Trump didn't try to eat no chicken. Trump didn't try to eat no watermelon, which is what they say we are supposed to eat. He ain't do none of that. Trump went to that church and asked for those people's support. So there's a difference between pandering. Pandering when you try to take on a persona to get a vote. But just asking for support is just asking for support. Trump didn't try to act like he was black. Yo, what up, man? Nope. He ain't say stuff like, you know what I'm saying, son? No, he ain't do none of that. He didn't try to do the wobble, none of that. That would have been horrible. That's not his deal. And no, I'm not taking up for Trump. So, got to get credit where credit due. When Trump went to that church, he went there and asked for black support. He didn't do no juke dancing or none of that. I don't want to see that stuff, especially from him. I'll probably throw up. Now, most politicians pander. Most of them do.
To the black.
No, Robert. No, Robert. You can't.
We're gonna act like
Robert. You can't. Robert. Here's the problem.
You're not even letting me speak.
No, Robert. Here's the problem.
Criminal justice reform.
Who got it done? Robert. You can't.
Who got it done?
Robert. You can't say that. You can't say that a Democratic candidate. Hold up. You can't say a Democratic candidate by going to a black church is pandering because she's running. But then you don't want to say.
No, it's not pandering if they go to a black church and ask for support. But when they go to the black church and try to act black or try to sound black or try to sound Southern and they know they from New York City, that's pandering.
It was pandering when Trump went to a black church when he was running. Did he go to a black church in Detroit while campaigning?
That doesn't mean it was pandering.
Yes or no? Robert, yes or no?
It doesn't mean it was pandering.
Hold on, so wait a minute. How was it a pandering if he went to a black church while running, but it's pandering for Gillibrand?
Let me tell you how. Because President Trump actually provided a material benefit to the black community. We don't want to talk about it every time.
Oh my God! I don't understand.
Bring up black unemployment every time I bring up criminal justice reform.
Wait. Okay, hold up. So Robert. So if Gillibrand, so let me help me out here. So if Gillibrand wins. One second. If Gillibrand wins and then passes various things and sign them into law that will benefit black people, will you then say, oh, hold up. Will you say then, oh, let me pull back that it was pandering because she delivered? Dog, come on.
I'll say I guess it wasn't pandering.
Oh my God, that's just beyond silly. That's beyond silly.
You don't want to acknowledge the fact that what Bernie Sanders is really talking about, he's talking about how Kamala Harris, who by the way is not even a foundation of black American, Cory Booker.
What the hell is that?
What is the foundation of black?
What the hell is that?
He's basically saying she ain't black, bro. And I agree with him on that. She ain't black, Doc. She's Indian with a little Scotch Jamaican in her.
Descendant of a slave in America, a foundation of black American. The kind of people who are getting skirted to the side by Democrats.
Do you know how idiotic that is?
Sure, you may say it sounded idiotic to me.
Whose 92nd birthday is it today? Hold up. Whose 92nd birthday is it today? Whose 92nd birthday is today?
Okay.
Who's 92nd?
Who, Roland?
Did those same black, hold up. Did those same black folks not want Obama?
Who is it? I can tell you
today is the birthday of Sidney Poitier.
Those same black folks are saying, what did Obama do?
Sidney Poitier is not a ADOS. He did fight for civil rights. You have to fight for civil rights. That's a whole totally different thing. Fighting for civil rights and the descendants of slaves getting reparation is two different things, dog. There's plenty of people that was not originally from this country that came to this country that came black, and they experienced the black experience because white America hated them just as much as they hated any other black person, because all they saw was black. They didn't care where you came from, whether you're from Jamaica, from Trinidad, or whatever. You were black in America. You got the same hateful rhetoric. So, of course, people like Sidney Poitier marched for civil rights. Of course, people like Harry Belafonte, who is a supporter of Bernie Sanders, marched for civil rights. But it ain't got nothing to do with foundational African-American slaves or American descendants of slaves.
In several days is the birthday of Harry Belafonte.
Okay, I can tell you those
the same black. Hold up. Are these the same black people who talk about Marcus Garvey, who is not from, wasn't a descendant? Are these the same black people who talk about Malcolm X? I'm not done. I'm not done. No. I'm not done. See, here's the game that guys like you want to play. Because see, you don't want to deal with real black history.
I do.
No, you don't.
Let's talk about
because
black
see,
history.
if you want to deal with real black history, and you want to talk about who's descendants, who's not foundational, you cannot get past. I'm not done. You cannot get past Malcolm X. You cannot get past Shirley Chisholm. You cannot get past Marcus Garvey. You cannot get past Harry Belafonte. You cannot get past Sidney Poitier. I can do a roll call on black people who have been not from here, but who have fought and stood up on behalf of black folks.
That is not what he said, Roland Martin. We agree. They're not from here, but they fought and stood up for black folks for civil rights. Has nothing to do with ADOS. Has nothing to do with American descendants of slaves and reparations. And getting out 40 acres and a mule. That was before they came here. The reason they fought side by side with us is because when they came here, they got the black hate experience from white America back in the days. Yet, thanks to their beautiful talent, acting and singing, they rose above that. They and they got a platform. They got famous. They side by side with Dr. King and fought for civil rights. Totally different from Emancipation Proclamation and being given, promised the 40 acres and a mule and never got it.
But I don't know if you can accept that there might be, boy, bye. Let me go to the private.
Can I tell you something? I try to listen to Roland Martin, try to give him a shot, try to give him respect. But the more I hear him, the more he loses my respect. Condescending, shouting people down, trying to shame people, putting words in people's mouth, because that's exactly what he did to Bernie Sanders, not understanding, assuming what somebody is saying, and don't, claim that he talked to the person and really didn't get it. Anyway, I'm done with this segment. Bernie Sanders decided to say, hey, I'm going to use Dr. King's mindset in voting. I'm encouraging people to use Dr. King's mindset in voting. You vote for a person based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin, or you can add the color of their sexuality or anything else. Vote for them on their policies. He's trying to do the Jedi mind trick and make people think that Bernie Sanders is not focusing on the policies. He's focusing on people color when it's the opposite. So I don't know what planet he's on. Is he on Bizarro World where everything is opposite? Clearly he is, because Bernie Sanders is not saying, hey, look at the white guy. He's saying, hey, look at my policies. Vote for me because of what I'm doing now, what I've done in the past, and what I plan on doing in the future. And if you're going to vote for somebody else, check that out. Check it out. Don't look at the body part. Don't look at the color. Look at the record. Yet, Roland Martin tried to make it seem like Bernie Sanders trying to get people not to look at the record, but to look at him being a white man. Where did he get this stuff from? Oh, I'm done. I'm done. Roland Martin, man. Bro, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. And calm down, man. Relax. Take a chill pill. Things are not going to go your way. You can't force people to think like you. You can't force the way you think on others. You can't assume other people think like you or hear like you, because we don't. Those things you're talking about, Bernie Sanders, I don't see that. I don't see him saying, hey, look at me, the white guy. I'm looking at the policies. And like I say, I don't vote on parties. I vote on people and their policies. What they done before, doing it now, and what they plan on doing in the future. Nothing else. It don't matter whether you're a woman. It don't matter. I mean, it don't matter who you are or what you do and how you do it. It doesn't matter. That's what Bernie Sanders' whole message is. And I'm telling you, Roland, I ain't voting for nobody if they're not going to, on purpose, talk about black agenda or some kind of restitution or reparation or some kind of, I like the guaranteed income, but that's not reparation. We need a guaranteed income and reparations. There need to be something specifically done as the restitution for the robbery and for the rape of the black man and woman since the day we came to America. There need to be something done about that for its compensation, because you took that from us, you promised and never gave us. We still running behind, trying to play catch up. And just because you passed laws and made everything equal, thank you, Harry Belafonte, thank you, Sidney Poitier, thank you, Marcus Garvey, thank you, Malcolm X. The bottom line is we still trailing behind. Equal rights is not enough. Economically speaking, we need a lift. So the lift program, Kamala Harris enough. You can have the lift program. You can have guaranteed income. You can have all that. We still need the reparations, because those things are available to everybody. We still need a separate thing done for that wealth gap to close. And yes, it's going to cost. Anyway, I'm done with this. Roland Martin, man, you got to get your head out your behind, bro, because you're seeing backwards. Your hatred for Bernie Sanders is causing you to see backwards. And the same thing with half of the people that come on your show, because all they are is Democratic suck-up operatives, old school and old in their ways, and don't understand there's a new day coming. And the new day is going to restore what was never given or what was taken away.